You've been asked a question that felt wrong. Not the words, the timing, the tone, and something in you said, don't answer that. That instinct? It's not paranoia. It's intelligence. There are specific questions that psychology has identified as signals, not requests for information, but quiet attempts at access, to expose you, to position you, to pull you into a dynamic you never agreed to. And the people who ask them, they usually don't even know they're doing it. It's not always manipulation. Sometimes it's just a reflex. But the cost is the same. But here's the part most people miss. Every time you answer one of these questions, you're not just giving information. You're giving someone a way in, a map, a door they didn't have before. So let's break down 3 questions psychology says you should never answer, and what's really happening beneath the surface.
Number 1, why are you so quiet? You've heard this one. Maybe at a dinner table, maybe in a meeting, maybe from someone who couldn't stand the silence and needed you to fill it for them. Here's what this question actually does. It takes a neutral state, silence, and reframes it as a social problem, something that needs fixing, something you need to explain. But think about it. Nobody walks up to someone who's talking and says, "Why are you so loud?" Nobody says, "Why are you talking so much?" Silence is the one state that gets questioned, and there's a reason for that. The people who ask, "Why are you so quiet?" aren't usually trying to understand you. They're trying to make you perform. They're uncomfortable with your stillness because they can't read it, and that makes them feel less in control. Smart people don't justify their silence, not because they're being cold, because they understand something fundamental. Silence isn't emptiness. It's signal. And the moment you start explaining your quiet, defending it, apologizing for it, you've already agreed that it's a problem, that it needs a reason, that your natural state requires an excuse. It doesn't. The real question isn't why you're quiet. It's why they need you to be loud.
Number 2, whose side are you on? This one shows up during conflict, during gossip, during those moments when someone is building a coalition and they need to know, are you in or are you out? Here's what psychology tells us about this question. It's a false choice. It forces loyalty before context. It asks you to declare allegiance before you even understand what you're aligning with. And that's not an accident. When someone says, "Whose side are you on?" they're not asking for your perspective. They're testing your compliance. They want to know, will you think for yourself or will you think for me? Smart people refuse to answer this. Not because they don't care, because they care about truth more than they care about performing loyalty. When someone demands loyalty before context, the situation has already become dangerous. Because immature people want allies, not honesty. And here's the thing. The person asking this question, they're usually not on your side either. They're on their own. They just need you to believe it's the same thing.
Number 3, can you prove how smart you are? This one doesn't always come in those exact words. Sometimes it sounds like, if you're so smart, then explain this. Or give me one good reason. Or, well, what would you know about it? But the structure is always the same. It's an audition demand. It turns your intelligence into a performance, a test, a trick you have to perform on command. Here's what psychology knows. Genuinely intelligent people rarely feel the need to prove it. Not because they're arrogant, because they understand that intelligence reveals itself through restraint, consistency, and decisions, not parlor tricks. The people who jump at the chance to prove how smart they are, they're usually performing for approval. And the people who ask them to, they're usually trying to set the terms of the interaction, their stage, Their rules, their verdict. Intelligence doesn't need to dance every time someone claps. The need to prove you're smart is usually the fastest way to look insecure. But here's the deeper insight. The real question isn't whether you can prove your intelligence. It's why someone needs you to. What do they gain by making you perform? What happens to the power dynamic the moment you accept the audition? Smart people see the frame, and they don't step into it.
So, 3 questions, 3 demands for access. Why are you so quiet? A demand for performance. Whose side are you on? A demand for loyalty. Can you prove how smart you are? A demand for submission. What they all share is the same structure. They're not requests for information. They're requests for entry. Every answer gives information. Every explanation gives power. Every reaction gives someone a way in. Smart people aren't avoiding questions because they have nothing to say. They're avoiding questions because they understand the cost of answering the wrong person. Being careful with questions isn't coldness. It's not hiding. It's the quiet intelligence of protecting your attention, your privacy, and your peace from people who never deserved the answer in the first place. If this made something click, share it with someone who needs permission to trust their instincts. And subscribe. We go this deep every week.